our buddy Jamie McLennan joins us on the
Hi,
Insider
guys.
Hotline. How we doing?
Good. What's going on?
Well, you know what?
Guess
Are
who the
you-
Flames are playing tonight?
What's that?
Guess who the Flames are playing tonight?
Who are they playing? I don't remember. I remember. They're playing Nashville. Fine. Listen, it's not over yet. That's the thing. It's not over yet.
Feels like it's close to being over.
It is.
It's
It
not.
is. Like the body's laying there. There's no pulse. But
There's buzzards are circling.
there is.
Flies are very interested. Yeah, it's.
But listen, they can defend. They just can't score. They literally can't score. They cannot score.
It's crazy.
But you know what? Like maybe the Flames had a big night at Tootsie's and, all of a sudden all hell breaks loose. I don't want to wish for that. I want the Flames to win because the Flames, this is their last road game before, I think it's a 5-game homestand.
Yep.
Before Christmas. So you can be sitting nice at Christmas. Now, that comes back to the argument we had before. How much does everybody want the Flames to win? Exactly.
No, I think what it comes down to is, are you looking to negotiate your way out of the cheese? I mean, is there?
No. I stand by what I say. I stand by, and listen, it hasn't worked out, but I'm not a quitter. I'm not a quitter.
Well, the downside is that you get to go have supper with me, so it's really a win-win. You're not
the downside or the upside, however you look at it, depending on how we frame it that night.
That's right.
Yeah,
2 Moscow mules. That's what I'll throw in.
Yeah.
Cheese toast and Moscow mules.
It's a good drink order, Noodles.
They go to free agency. They add Stamkos and Marchessault, and their offense goes down.
Yep.
Ow.
Now here's the unique thing. I was talking to somebody in the league 2 days ago, and they were saying, Kelly McCrimmon and George McPhee, they're ruthless. Like it doesn't matter. Marc-Andre Fleury, you got to go. Everybody's got to go. That it was James Neal. They brought James. Nope, James Neal, you got to go. Like doesn't matter. Do you think they saw something with Marchessault? Now it's interesting because the guy told me that Marchessault needs players to play with. Like he needs facilitators. He's not a guy that drives the line or whatever. He hasn't found that chemistry in Nashville whatsoever. Stamkos, I think it's just age. Is he 33, 34? I don't think he's done. I just don't. I think he's on that down, the downslide. But
do you guys know how many goals Marchessault had last year? Just top of your head? And I had to check because he's
say 37.
I was going to say 34.
20, maybe 30. He had 42 goals.
There you go. 2 40-goal guys they brought in. 2.
Goodness gracious.
But they're 40-year-old. Okay, so Stamkos has the Hart Trophy winner passing him the puck on the power play. Okay? That helps.
Yeah.
So
and point
just get up that offside one-timer.
Right.
Just loving life.
So that's Philip Forsberg's spot. So now all of a sudden you're going to put Stamkos there. You're going to put Forsberg in the bumper position. Where are you going to put Marchessault, who likes to shoot as well? That's the thing. Like they brought in on paper, it looks good, but you still have to mesh as a team.
So why didn't they discuss is this not something that should have come up in discussions?
Listen, we're all sitting here going, and I'm saying I'm sitting here going, easy to judge sitting in a lawn chair. My whole thing is they probably did their due diligence. They probably talked to the players and said, can you play your off wing? Can you play your strong side wing? Like they're not just going to go, hey, we're just grabbing the 2 best, most expensive guys in free agency that'll come to Nashville. I think what they were trying to do.
You don't think it's that, James? You don't think that's part of it? Because Barry Trotz is the GM. He's been there since day one. I mean, he left for a little bit, obviously, but he's been there lean years. No one wants to come to Nashville. The team's bad. You become the general manager, and then for the first time, and they've added but for the first time, you have 2 sexy free agents that say, yeah, I would come to Nashville. And it's not crazy money. They're not huge overpays, but it'd be like, They want to be a Predator. We need people that want to be in Nashville. We need guys that want to be here. We'll figure the rest of it out. These guys are 40 goal guys.
Well,
sign them.
Serial winners.
Yeah, you know what, too? They both won. And I think probably in their mind, it's like they're good enough players they can adapt to whatever we put in front of them. That would probably be the argument in the management team.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that they talked to the players and said, okay, like right now we have this. This is what you talk to Andrew Brunette and go, how are you going to deploy these players? You've got 3 right shots. Now all of a sudden Evangelista is a really nice player. He's going to be a good player. That's another right shot. So I think it's like, I'm going to get you a bunch of good players. You sort out where they're going to play. I think the next move, unfortunately, I love Bruno. It's Barry Trotz might put himself in the coach's chair, or the owner might say to him, you spent a bunch of my money in the offseason. You go down and fix this. I don't know. What is the next step for Nashville?
Yeah, and I'm not even going to disagree with you, but Bruno or Burnett's supposed to be known as a really good coach. And coaches get shit canned all the time, and the axe falls on their neck. What's Trotz or anyone else going to do differently?
Well, what's Jim Montgomery or Joe Sacco done differently? Maybe it's just a new coach boost, right?
I was just going to say, how did Jim Montgomery get fired? He had like 140 wins and 40 losses. I think this league has become so volatile, so knee-jerk reaction, because the owners are looking at the other teams going, we got to have what's going on there. They just fired that, because to me, there never seemed to be that big a turnover. Now it's like you can win coach of the year and a year later lose your job. All of a sudden you can't coach. Like, it's ridiculous. Because I bet you Laviolette's head is on the block in with the Rangers, and he's a hell of a coach. No comments?
No,
all this is right. Like, everyone's it's just
my
funny.
thing is sorry, Ryan, I'm kind of jumping on you there, but I would be pointing the finger at Trotz.
Of course. And of all the GMs, he's the guy that used to coach. He should have seen the issues that we're seeing now.
And nobody knows the players like the teams that let them go, right? Stamkos, they know what level they're at. Whether or not they've gone off a cliff, I don't think anyone expected this to happen.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like you can have a failure,
right?
And they missed the playoffs. They finished 10 points back of where they did 50 points. They're dead last. Like, it's an unmitigated disaster.
The last 7 between them. Didn't you say that? Stamkos and Marchessault.
7 games, Dean.
Yeah, 1 goal for Marchessault, 1 assist for Stamkos. I think it is in the last 7 games.
It's not good enough. I watched them play in Toronto. That was Marchessault's goal. It went off the dasher and jumped over the goaltender, and he banged it.
See, contact. There you go. Yeah.
Trying to cling to that 1-goal lead after 40. We can come on, boys, 20 miles. We can white knuckle this thing. 4-2. See ya.
It's even the Askarov move.
That's
there's
the
a
one
lot
that's
of head shakers.
That's the one, because in the offseason they went and signed Blackwood. Or no, Wedgwood. Sorry, not Blackwood.
I did the same thing.
They signed Wedgwood. And I thought that, his term, it was a 2-year deal, I think. And I was like, Askarov is ready to play in the NHL. And if he's not, he's damn close. Okay. So I think he was fighting with them and saying, I'm not going to the minors this year. I've done everything I can in the minors. Yeah. So why wouldn't he be mentored by Saros? To me, that was a good fit, to go there. All of a sudden they trade him to San Jose, and they've signed Wedgwood. And now you trade for Annunen and trade Wedgwood to Colorado. So it didn't make sense.
And you gave Saros the big money extension.
Well, yes. Now Saros I would give Saros the money, because he is not the problem there. He is clearly not the problem in Nashville. If anything, he's a top-tier goalie. Yossi's a top-tier defenseman. Outside of that, I don't know what the hell's going on there. I don't know what is, something is not right. And I'll say, Barry Trotz is bold. He made Matt Duchene go away. Ryan Johansson, go away. They had to chew on some money to make those guys go away. He didn't like what was going on with the culture or whatever. He came in and he saw that there were some guys that are good players that had to go away. Duchesne at $3 million, that's a bargain for Dallas, right? Or is it $3 or $4 million? I think it's a cheap rate compared to what he was making. And then Philly made Johansson go away. I don't even know. Hockey News can't find him right now. I don't know where that guy is.
Via Colorado, because he was part of that swap, right?
And sorry, Ryan, and you talk about Cerro. So I was kind of joking earlier. He must walk in the room and just look at 2.18 goals per night is what they're going to be like. F you and F you and F you. Have you seen? I've got a 910 save percentage. I've got a 2.66.
Yeah.
Help a brother out here.
But that's like, it's weird. That's not how they're supposed to be built, but that's how they're playing. That's the difference. If you add 240 goal scorers and both of them are, close to being tied with us, that's not good. It's
great, no.
By Christmas.
I'll push back a little on the Askarov thing. Like, he hasn't done anything for the Sharks yet. And they got a first and a couple prospects for him.
It's fair, but he is
they had to make their mind up. You could have kept them, but they decided to turn them into young assets. And just like Tampa and Vegas knew Marchessault and Stamkos better than everyone else, they knew Askarov better than else. He sure was making a stink for a guy that was good in the A, but couldn't take a job in the NHL. Maybe they were done with the act and they're like, let's go get assets. And they're sitting on 3 firsts. That is the one thing they could fall back on. If they want to get rid of a problem and or reload, they've got those are very valuable assets that they've got in 3 first rounders this year.
Yeah, but you're done with first rounders to do what?
What do you want to do? Do you want to get rid of a contract? Do you want to bring in a centerman?
So you've got all the assets to rebuild that you're going to need to rebuild if you dump these assets, but you're going to give them away to be able to accomplish that?
There's 3 or 4 old players on this team. It's not a team that lacks young players. Most of this roster is really young. So I don't necessarily think they need to sit and wait 4 or 5 years for.
But you know what? Their key guys aren't young. Yossi, Forsberg.
Yeah,
like even the homegrown guys, and I know Forsberg was drafted elsewhere, but even those guys, Saros isn't young. So they have young players, but I don't know that they're necessarily the future stars.
You just said evangelistic.
Those guys signed with Nashville, like Stamkos and Marchessault just signed there, so you're not turning them around. You're not going to them and going, "Hey, we're going to blow this thing up. You got to go now." So that's the spicy meatball Barry has right now is he's sitting on assets, good players, but are you going to, like he talked about it? Well, maybe I should blow this thing up. I was a kid in the candy store this summer and, I bought the shiny toys and it's not working. We might have to blow this up. And he did say, we had him on our show. I think he talked about having like 9 players in the World Junior Championship. Like they've got some young guys and stuff. So,
which is, they all still have to turn out, and I'm not taking a shot. Something's got to happen in Nashville. It's actually fun to talk about because there's so many different options and ways they can go about it. If like
you just want the cheese toast,
and you know what, and we'll pivot and we can move. He does, but we can move on. But you hear that we got all these young guys at the World Juniors, and we got some young guys coming up, and then to almost kind of pivot, and okay, we're going to bring in some free agents right now. Something happened along. Now, here's the thing: Predators are having they're winless in 7. Flames have 1 win in their last 7. It's not like Flames are rolling into their big swinging dicks. Hey, you guys stink, eh? That must suck. It's not going well for the Flames, specifically on the road. I think Conroy needs a McLennan. He needs a Noodles right now, or a retro to get on the road with these guys and figure some things out. I don't know if you're that familiar with their road woes right now.
I am.
But it's horrendous.
I watched the game the other night. I mean, to me, yes, they're struggling. That's where you have a team meeting at Legends and you say, hey, we're going to bring in some nachos and some beers. And, I think sometimes you just need to get away from it and get your mind off of it. The kids are the kids, I say, but all of these players now are so serious. Like, it's tough to have fun when you're not winning, but you still have to find a way to do it because it helps you get out of it. So I think that's the biggest challenge. Nashville might be they might be looking across the room and going, okay, that's a team that's struggling too. They know where we are at, but that's a scary part. It's dangerous, right? Because Nashville is looking at Calgary going, we can beat this team. This is the beginning of the streak we're going to go on or whatever. Right. So I do think they need a Rhett Warner. They need a McLennan. They need to go and have some fun. And you need to play better too, to be honest. Like, I didn't love that effort the other night. I'll tell you that. Like,
are we seeing, I mean, is that normal peaks and valleys of a season for Dustin Wolf? Gives up 4. I mean, pile on, but it's something to talk about. And the other side of it, 1 win in 7, and also 25 games. Is it, Pinder, you said, without
25 in a row? They've not scored 4, 3 or less, 25 in a row. It's got to be.
That's
found it's the 6th longest in like the last
so
3/4 of a century or something stupid.
So who in that dressing room do you expect? So what? Let's do this. I'm going to work backwards.
Mm-hmm.
If this is the end, we're having a show right now on mid-April. When is the last game of the season? Call it April 20th, whatever it is. Who is the top scorer for the Calgary Flames, and what is that number? Goal scorer, top goal scorer.
Well, last year they had a couple of guys at 30, Sharangovich and Coleman. So I would think that's probably the high water mark.
I think Sharangovich with 23, 24.
We looked at it yesterday.
Over 25.
Yeah, we looked at it yesterday. The Flames, it's Kadri and Huberdeau tied with 17 points to lead the team. No other team has their leader with that few points.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there's teams. I think Lane Hudson, from Montreal.
Yeah, he's got,
like, you know what I mean? Like, I can go through every team. I called a game in San Jose the other day. That's Celebrini, by the way, as a player.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
You said the Russian didn't impress you. Since Celebrini's got back, the Sharks are over 500. They've been awesome.
Yeah. Like, well, that's the thing. Like, I didn't love the Russian. I thought he was a little bit lazy and all of that. This Celebrini, if you look at from, well, you would know this, Pinder, like loose puck battles, from Sport Logic, like this guy's number 1 in the league.
Crazy.
Like takeaways and loose puck. That reminds me of Mark Stone. Like, that's what Mark Stone does. And this guy's in there battling away. It's impressive. But I'll come back to the Flames. So if you're saying the high water mark is 30, so probably going to have 1 or 2 guys that kiss up on 30. Mm-hmm. That's really where we're at. Like the point getting, it's going to be by committee.
Yeah.
It's going to be, one guy has a good night here or there, but there's no guy that just drags you and goes, hey, I'm getting 50 this year or 40 this year on a night where we need 2. I've got 2. That's the unfortunate part when you've got balance through the lineup, but you don't have somebody who's a natural goal scorer.
Yeah. Is there part of that you can spin almost to the positive? If you're in that room, if you're one of those guys, like no one is single-handedly going to get us out of this. We don't have a score. We don't.
You don't have
need to do this together.
You don't have McKinnon to drag you out of it. We got to do it by committee. But that's what made them. So what's made them so likable and with so much success early in the year was it was somebody different every night. It was good goaltending. The D, remember we had the argument about the D. It's not sexy if you don't notice them that they're doing a good job. Now you're noticing a few guys. He's like, I missed assignment there. I could have done that. Like to me, when it's balanced, it looks great when it's going well. When it's balanced, it doesn't look good when it's not going well because you're going, who's the separator? Like who's the guy that goes, I got it tonight. I got who's having a 4-point night? Like we haven't seen that because they haven't scored 4 goals, Well,
and to make matters worse, on the road, they're absolutely miserable, Noodles. They won their first game of the year on the road. They won their second game of the year on the road. They've 1 road win since.
Yeah.
That's it. Like we're talking since October 13th, 1 road win. And through, 17 road games they've played, Dino? 14 road games? They have 1 regulation win all year on the road. That's it. Like this group is fragile on the road. For whatever reason, they're great at home. They get on the road, everything changes. The goaltending numbers, the power play, the goals for, the goals against. They're minus 21 on the road on goal differential. They're plus 11 at home. It's insane.
Yeah. I don't have an answer for that. I wish I did. Like, I wish that you looked at how guys play on the road, home teams play in their own building, but it's not just reserved to, hey, they have a tough time winning in Dallas or a tough time in Anaheim. Like it didn't, for years, it was Anaheim they couldn't win in, right? Like it was, it went back to like me and Roman or something had our last win. It was like 2001, something ridiculous. Like,
Listen, something just dawned on me
Okay.
again
Yeah.
while you're on the show. It's amazing how this happens. So we've got Nashville, we've got Calgary, both teams struggling. Nashville's got assets. Flames need asset. Huberdeau is a setup guy. Send him to Nashville. He can set up Stamkos and Marchessault, and we'll take a first rounder back.
I got bad news about your setup guy. He's on pace for like 35 assists.
Because he's got no one to feed. He needs a
Right, he's got no
Stamkos.
trigger man.
He needs a guy to shoot the puck.
So you don't want their trigger. You don't want Stamkos and Marcia. So you want to do it the other way.
I'll
Let
yes.
them have the
I'm going to give you some more bad news. You will not get a first rounder for that contract.
Oh God! You have to give up. You package it. We're the
Really?
first round. You might not be able to get rid of it. It's all signing bonus. Can't buy it out. He's been atrocious. I'm sorry. I know the goals.
But
are
he
there.
wanted to sign in
He's
Calgary. He was
being
excited to
facetious.
sign in Calgary. He was pumped to get to Calgary. It was
He'd never
well,
been in Calgary before he signed.
yes, weird though. 11 million or whatever the F he's making
10.5.
with all these goofy signing bonuses and tax structures. No, he loves Calgary. Wants to be a Calgary Flame. Are you actually trying to sell that to us? Come on.
I mean, I don't know. It's unfortunate. I think they took the deal that the Flames had offered Johnny, something like that.
Basically,
right?
10.5.
The whole trade, the whole thing was fine until they re-signed those guys.
Well, and the weaker ones turned out to be a sweetheart deal. Like on the open market, he's 8+.
It has, but you could have done that.
Still could have probably done it at the end of the year because he
Maybe,
was not
yeah,
great
no,
for half of the season.
It's just if we're gonna go apples to apples, the one is blown up in their face to a level you couldn't even imagine. The other's been great in terms of the contracts.
Yeah. You got to give credit where it's due, and that's fair. You know, where's Kadri in your level of
Get
what
him
is
out
he
of here.
year 3 of a 7?
Yeah, he's got 4 years left after this.
I gotta call the owner and just tell him like we're gonna have to chew on a little bit of this cash. You'll be all right. We got a bunch of things going on in Alberta. We'll get you involved in that to make that money back. But we're gonna eat a couple $1 million in Kadri's deal. And
Okay, so here's I hate to be this guy, but wasn't I on this show like 3 weeks ago or something, and you were yelling at me saying they need to trade for a centerman?
He was.
I was drunk that day.
Okay, well that's fair then. If you were drunk, then we all speak silly when we're drunk. So that's what it is.
He
I
drinks
just
a lot.
wanted to
If
get
you
that out.
watch the show, yeah.
Now wait. Now I'll say this: I was being an idiot, and I was fairly jokey about it. But maybe if they'd have done, if I'm going to follow up and argue this, maybe Connie should have pulled the trigger and got that guy in here, and we wouldn't have had this swoon and fallen off a cliff. We'd be still in the mix.
Or
He
we
would've
might
scored
have
4 in the
another
third.
guy who's overpaid in that mix where you're like, geez, we just brought in another guy and it's not working. Like I always try and give Connie the benefit of the doubt because Connie's got a plan in place and he's trying to execute it and he has to,
but
I'm
he's
sure he
got,
has to manage up and manage down and
but
all
he's
of
got
that.
that Hall of Fame guy in his ear yelling at him all the time. Do this, Conroy. Do this. Do that.
I don't know. Now I'm more happy to change the subject. Happy's the wrong word because I feel bad for his son that he has to have surgery, but I'm glad that Tija Ginla, there's at least maybe an excuse of why he was not invited to that camp because my head almost blew off my body when I saw he was not. And I think, I think all of us were like, what is going on there?
Well, and Perrick did get the invite due to an injury.
Yeah.
Ditto for Bennett Seneke, who went on an absolute world destruction tour after not being selected. So Yakimchuk's the only guy left in the top 10 that got snubbed. We need another injury to get him in there, the Calgary Hitman D-man.
Yeah, Yakimchuk. I mean, listen, Ottawa's in one right now. Even though they've won some games, they lost. I did that Islander game the other day. Sorkin stole it. They outshot him 32-12, and they lose 4-2 with an empty netter. And then Larry Brooks, your buddy, just starts throwing spaghetti at the wall saying they want Brady Tkachuk. I'm like, what is this guy?
That's a Richard move. That really is. To use a player's name, especially with that market, like I get why the owner's pissed. And if I'm the Rangers, I'm smiling ear to ear. Just keep giving Larry shit like this to piss off the other teams.
It's funny. Like Larry is an agitating guy. But I will say this, like he doesn't like, he's not just making that up. Somebody has fed him that, right?
Totally.
Obviously from New York side. And, I say good on Andlauer. Like you're standing up for he's in year 2 of a deal, a long-term deal, Brady. Like I don't think he's going anywhere. I think it's people going, oh, they $8 million off the books. Who can we go after for $8 million? It was JT Miller or it's Brady Tkachuk. Like both of those guys, they're American. They want to come, they want to go. It's almost the arrogance of the Rangers. It's like, yeah, we're the Rangers. Like, we're an original 6 team. We can do this. And I don't know.
You got to start talking about how much Adam Fox would fit in Ottawa. I mean, that's Stevie. Two could play this game.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe I'll start that rumor today.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Soft tampering. That's the new vibe.
I'm a reputable. Is it soft tampering? If I just a reputable media person like myself, I'm not a reporter. I'm not an insider. That's what I always tell people. Like people send me stuff on Twitter. It's like, I'm hearing this. I'm like, doesn't matter. Like, I'm not running with it. I'm not a reporter.
Then what are you doing on our insider hotline?
Well, because you guys just like me. And I drink cold. I'm drinking a protein shake right now. It's had a late workout. So
what do we do today? Legs? Don't skip leg day, James.
Leg days. Every day's leg day for me.
Sure. Yeah.
That's why I've got powerful legs and skinny fat.
Are you working out on your own, or you got a trainer?
I gym in my house.
Well, that's fine. Lots of people have gyms in their house.
So Rhett's sitting in his right now.
Clothes on them. They actually go in there. Like they go in. Like, yeah. What's that thing?
Look at that bike,
Monarch.
That thing,
Rich Hesketh.
Got a layer of dust on it.
When was the last time I got?
I was going to say you didn't pay for that thing. That went out the back door of the dome and into your basement.
That was the GM saying, "Hey, fatty, maybe try using this thing."
Why does it say flames on the side? Did you steal that? I do. I built a gym. When I built this house, I built a gym. Now I do use it every day.
What about a pool table?
What about a pool?
No, I've got a big basement that my son uses it for shooting pucks, and I shoot pucks on him and stuff like that. Or little.
How is the 2035 top goaltending draft eligible?
They won 10-5 the other day. I was traveling, and my wife and daughter were at Taylor Swift's. My son had to go by himself. We sent him with his grandmother, and he won 10-5, and apparently he made some big saves. That's the coach even sent me a note saying Quinn was very good today. So
he's cut down on the goals from center ice.
Yeah, we didn't have a goal. Apparently, we didn't have a goal from center ice, but I don't know. I mean, maybe it could have been farther out. I don't know. They don't tell me that stuff. Like I always say, "How was he?" And they're like, "Oh, he was good." I'm like, "Okay, give me an example of good or bad." I'm fine. Like
they don't have Live Barn and Flow. Or like, you don't have commentators for those kids' games? Come on, you're in Toronto.
They're in a company called Home Team. Very, very smart, very good company out of Regina, Saskatoon area.
You're like Shaq. You got your tentacles and everything, eh? No. I've got this part of this company. We do this water bottles and online streaming.
Well, the water bottles, are they good or not?
Excellent.
Told you they're a good company.
Are we supposed to share them, or are we just not in friendship?
I said enough for everybody. You didn't share?
Yeah, I got 6 kids, and that's who got one. So
when I come to Calgary, I'll bring some more out.
Next week. Friday.
I got to figure this out. We got
to do. Put some
thought. Let's just talk it out now. We don't have everything nailed down, but perennially we have had a Christmas spirits show where we kind of Pinder, who is the best equipped to do it, puts together a list of holiday drinks or just drinks that you might have over the holiday season, and we indulge over the course of a day. I
do this show called Overdrive. You guys,
how many sick days do you get?
We told you can use our studio. You don't have.
We'll patch you right in from the studio.
I'm a professional. I can't.
We got hardwired.
Pinder will fill in for you.
Well, I'll try and figure it out. We will negotiate. I am there Thursday. We can discuss Thursday for Friday because
maybe we should switch. Do they play Thursday?
Yes, they
play. Yeah, it's Ottawa Flames Thursday, isn't it?
So you can't be drunk for that either.
Well, on air, no. I'm calling the game that night. I can't do that. And Friday, I can go out Friday night. I will stay in Calgary and go out Friday night. We can have our cheese toast. Caesars.
He's going to be annihilated.
It'll be hard to get into. We might need a reservation.
Yeah.
They got a great bar area there. We can just go in and
hang out in the
sit bar.
In the lounge. That's a good point. Yeah.
The lounge. And we can watch a game. I'm sure there'll be a game on that night. They've got great Moscow mules, cheese toast. We can have a butterfly.
I don't want to watch hockey. I just want to hang out with you, buddy.
They've got the 2 cheese. What is it called? The the baked potato. Twice baked.
Twice baked.
Twice
Yeah,
baked, yeah.
twice baked.
Now you got me all fired up. I haven't had a steak in a while. We're definitely going to Caesars.
Now, see, here's the thing. You're talking about how you can't be. I can't think of anyone who might be better equipped to be tipsy to almost hammered and pull it off without a hitch on air
Well,
than
if you're
you.
talking about it and then people are watching it, then you're going, this guy's been drinking all day.
Yeah.
And then
James, you have the
video.
#1 radio show in the country. Everybody else is like falling at your feet. Do you think they're going to gun you because you've had a few beers with your buddies in
they
Calgary
do.
before the show?
I try to be a professional. The thing is I don't do it well. The night before, I called the game in Anaheim last Sunday. I might have gone out Saturday night in LA. I might have. It was a vicious rumor.
Viper Room?
What's that?
Viper Room?
No. We went to it's a Italian restaurant called Jones, and really good, but old school, like hipsters and really unique drinks and stuff. And then just went on kind of into Hollywood. There was a couple like pubs and stuff like that, and live band, and one turned into two turned into three, and it was a 5 o'clock game the next day. O-Dog called me out. He said my eyes looked a little bit glossy. I said, well, there was smoke in the building. That's
Yeah.
Right.
Does everyone still have you on a first name basis down there in Hollywood and the Sunset Strip and all that? Jimmy, hey, it hasn't been that long.
I wish.
Some best in these restaurants.
I don't want nothing to do with Hollywood nowadays. Everyone's getting rinsed out there. I'm done with that.
Is that
Right? It's not good. It's
Not
not good.
ideal.
So that's good. But we will negotiate for next week. All right.
Sounds
Put
like
some
All right,
thoughts.
fella.
Because I'm in Seattle on Tuesday. Fly in. I got to go to Edmonton Wednesday. I'm coming down Thursday the morning for the game on Thursday, the Flames. And I'm supposed to go back to Edmonton, but I will stay Friday and then go back Saturday to Edmonton. I call the game Sunday in Edmonton.
Only stay if it makes sense that we could, let's get this worked out.
We'll talk off air. We'll figure something out.
Well, and now you guys have talked about where you're going. I mean, there's going to be fans showing up. It's going to
Nobody's going to show up. Nobody cares about
be
us.
like Taylor Swift just rolling into Caesars all of a sudden.
There's a couple old friends that we might want to invite.
Reggie, we could probably invite Reggie, but who knows? He might be baling hay or something. Who knows what that is?
He'll be snowmobiling for sure.
Hay baling.
He'll be high marking on an avalanche.
Either snowmobiling or what is that? Crop dusting and doing all of this stuff. What's that called?
Not at Caesars.
Yeah, he won't be there. We'll figure it out.
You're our insider, James, regardless of how you want to. You're our insider. Appreciate you, pal. Have a great week.
You bet. We'll see you guys next week.
You bet. Jamie McLennan on the Insider Hotline.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more of our content right here on the Flames Nation YouTube page. We had a bunch of great long form interviews. You can check out some videos we've done as well outside of the studio. And of course, if you want more writing or merchandise stuff, flamesnation.ca or nationgear.ca. Appreciate you watching.